So at the end of that last course on meditation that we just talked about, I gave you a story about how I suffered a traumatic brain injury, and I was able to retrain my thoughts and the way I think and the way I perceive the world. You have that power too, and it's called emotional intelligence. We'll talk about what emotional intelligence is here in a moment, and even emotional fitness is another component of that. But first I want to talk about your emotions and why emotions are so important. Your emotions affect your behaviors, and your behaviors are how you show up in the world, how you represent yourself in this body, in this mind. And ideally, we want to be our best, right? We want people to like us. We want to be supported. We want to be recognized. We want to feel a sense of power and purpose in life. And that comes from our behaviors. Well, where do our behaviors come from? Our behaviors come from our emotions, those feelings that we get in our body. And the truth is, we have control over our emotions, even if we feel like we're out of control. How often do you say, oh, that person really pissed me off, oh, it made me angry, or oh, they hurt my feelings? Well, they didn't do anything. They just created an emotion in your body which came from a thought. And where did that thought come from? That thought comes from your beliefs. And we're not going to talk too much about beliefs here, but beliefs really are the root of our emotions. Our beliefs are the root of our whole perception of life. The way we perceive the world around us comes from our beliefs. So the more you can get in tune with your beliefs of who you really are, what you really believe, why those beliefs became present in your life, the more you then can control your thoughts. And the more you can control your thoughts, the more you can control your emotions, your emotional reaction to those thoughts. And the more you can control your emotions, which is emotional intelligence, the better you are to control your behaviors. And the better you are to control your behaviors, well, the better you show up in life. Now let's talk a little bit about why we want to be aware of our emotions and then control our emotions. Because emotions have different vibrational levels. So if you're feeling a sense of joy, love, peace, happiness, where do you think that puts you on a vibrational scale? It's very high. Those are very high vibrational emotions. And people can feel that. As humans, we are vibrational beings. And you know that when you walk into a room and you can just sense somebody's emotions, or you can sense somebody's vibration. You may not understand it in that way, but you can feel somebody when you walk into a room. Whether you feel really good when you're in their presence, or you feel negative and drawn down and repelled. That's their vibration. And so your emotions put you at a certain vibration. So as I mentioned, higher vibration emotions are peace, love, happiness. I think at the highest would be enlightenment. And then there's a sense of neutrality when it comes to emotions, where you're not really feeling high or low, you're just pretty even. And then as we move below that, we start to get into things like anger and sadness, all the way down to shame and guilt. You know, those are just, our vibrations are going lower and lower and lower. And be aware of that. Be aware of the vibrational frequencies that you're on and how your emotions relate to that. So let's talk about what emotional intelligence really is. Well, the dictionary defines emotional intelligence as the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. Well, what does that mean? That means that you're able to recognize the emotions you're feeling. And once again, those emotions root from your thoughts, which root from your beliefs. You're able to recognize those emotions and then control those emotions. So if you feel anger coming up, instead of just like hitting something or somebody or yelling or just blowing up, can you control that emotion in a different way? That's emotional intelligence. Another part of emotional intelligence, as I mentioned, is just being aware of, oh, what is this feeling that I'm getting? Why am I feeling my whole body's tensing up? Well, it could be because you're a little stressed or you're a little anxious about something. And the more you understand about what different emotions are and how they show up in your body and your feelings, the better able you are to control those emotions. And then the better you're able to control your behaviors and interactions with people. So that's emotional intelligence. And if you feel like you need to get more in touch with your emotions, you can contact me personally, or just continue to do more research about your emotions, what you're feeling, how to understand them, and then how to express them in a kind manner. So that's emotional intelligence. Let's talk about something a little bit different, which is emotional fitness. Now, Tony Robbins describes emotional fitness definition as being resilient, positive, and focused. It means you can change your mindset from angry, anxious, or sad, and instead focus on constructive emotions and tasks. Ultimately, you're able to bounce right back and continue on your journey even stronger than you were before. That could be a definition of emotional fitness. It's the ability to recognize that, oh, this emotion just came up, I'm feeling really flustered right now, but then within 60, 90 seconds you bounce back and you come back to that sense of equanimity and focus and happiness and joy and all the things that you want to live in your life. Emotions are just one part of health and wellness. And emotions really root from, as I mentioned, your thoughts, which come from your beliefs. But they can also root from all the other factors that we've been talking about this program. Your fitness, your food, your rest, and now we're going to get into toxicity, which certainly affects our emotions and every other component of our life. Boom.